Yeah.
Yeah, she's the sweetest thing. You have plenty of room to rest? No, we don't run much anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amelia. Amelia. Oh, is it not so good? Well, I have 2 weeks at all. I actually downloaded You don't get the yard.
Okay, the Washington Medical Commission business meeting will come to order. My apologies for a little bit of a delay there. We had some technical issues. All right, first thing on the agenda, the public comment section. We'll now begin the portion of the business meeting to take public comment. The purpose of is to allow members of the public to directly address the Washington Medical Commission on issues of public concern. Please refrain from providing comments on pending or open investigations or disciplinary cases. We will not be answering questions or responding. Staff will be available after the meeting to answer your questions. Please understand that although time period for comment during the business meeting is limited, the public can attend and provide comment at Washington Medical Commission committee meetings. The public can also contact staff during normal business hours. We welcome written comments as well. Ms. Boyd, do we have any members, any public speakers?
We do have one from Gopher, and then we have a second one now, Maria Bottom. So Tom, if you would go ahead.
Can you hear me? My name is Dr. Tom Gumpratt. Can you hear me satisfactorily?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, very good. My public comment, and I've written to a number of the commission members, so I do think that the commission has a responsibility to review, at least review, gender reassignment treatments in the state of Washington. those reassignments done by either clinics, such as at the gender clinic at Children's Hospital in Seattle, or any doctors or clinics involved in this process. And this is out of concern for, again, the treatment of a vulnerable population, which is children, and not to necessarily judge the propriety of the treatments, but certain areas are of obvious concern, such as, is informed consent adequate for the clinics and doctors who are undertaking these treatments on children? Second, is the use of non-FDA approved medications appropriate? Is there adequate justification for their use? Third is to say that many of the European countries have drawn back from certain of the gender reassignment treatments, and it would seem to me that would signal that there is reason for concern and perhaps modification of these sort of treatments in the state of Washington in interest of safety of a vulnerable population, which are children. I think it would be wrong for the medical commission, say 5 years or 10 years from now, and if by chance it is then judged by society in general that these treatments were objectionable and substantially objectionable and potentially extremely harmful to children, for the medical commission nowhere along the line to have been involved in reviewing the propriety of these treatments. Certainly you review such things as conscious sedation in surgeries in medical offices, safety of, say, surgical treatments in office, whole range of areas that the medical commission reviews to establish guidelines for appropriate care with the interests of safety of patients. I believe that the commission would be abdicating its responsibility if it did not do at least a review of the processes involved in the state of Washington for general gender reassignment treatments. And anyway, thank you for your time. That's all I have to say. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me now? Thank you for your comments. We'll take that into consideration.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do we have anyone else on this?
Yes, Maria Higginbottom, if you'd like to go ahead. It says you're self-muted, Maria. Oh, perhaps she raised her hand in error or is having technical issues. We can move on.
Thank you. Ms. Boyd, do we have anyone else? Thank you. This concludes the public comment portion of the meeting. I want to thank you for your comments, and again, you may provide written comments at any time. Next on the agenda, chair report. I don't have a report for this meeting. We'll move ahead to the consent agenda. Items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine agency matters and will be approved by a single motion without separate discussion. If separate discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular business agenda. Before you is the consent agenda. Are there any requests to extract items for regular business? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is new business. I'm going to turn this over to Ms. De Leon, Executive Director.
Jim. Oh. I can do a lot, but I do not do this. So every year we do outstanding performance awards for the staff. And it is predicated, the folks that are eligible to be nominated are non-supervising staff members. So managers and supervisors are not eligible for this award. It's been going on since 2016. It was put together by Chair Dr. Brandner in 2015. And he did all of these trophies, the Eagle trophies, which we have sent back and forth across the state a couple of times. And one of the Eagles lost his head a few years ago, and we had to put an eagle on there. Anyways, just a little bit of trivia for you. So there are 3 categories of awards. One is for the investigative unit, one is for the legal unit, and one is for the administrative folks. So I'm going to go ahead and read you the winning nominations, the winners. I try to keep the name of the person till the very end. So I use a lot of they, them pronouns because I want to, I mean, if you knew the gender, then you would guess right away. And it's supposed to be a surprise. Okay, for the administrative category. This staff member is an excellent facilitator and knows how to take charge and elicit participation. They are a driving force behind many of the functions that WMC puts on for team building purposes. The consummate team player, if they don't know the answer right away, they will help find you the correct resource and process to follow. Extremely knowledgeable about the inner workings of the Department of Health, the staff member never falters from their incredible customer service. A true professional, their willingness to help attitude is unrivaled. Always well spoken, they can convey complex information into easily understandable words with the greatest of ease. They are purposeful in their words and language to ensure communication is positive and well received. I could go on and on about this person, but without further ado, the winner of the Outstanding Performance Award in the Administration category is Caleb Bryson. This is her second time winning, so. Oh, that's true. Oh, I think she's trying to get a, you know, what is that called, an asterisk or something? Yeah, get her name on each one of these. All right, legal category. This staff member brings a wonderful energy to the legal unit. They contribute to team meetings with a positive, can-do attitude, which inspires their colleagues to also bring their best every day. They have prepared PowerPoint presentations on different points of interest to engage the team, encourage discussions, and share learning points and concepts. As an integral part of the meeting legal performance measures, this staff member has mastered the concept and laws related to out-of-state actions and the legal differences between an 18-130-370 mandatory summary suspensions and an 18-130-180 sub 5, oh my goodness, non-mandatory summary action, potentially standalone statement of charges or statement of allegations. This is an important but sometimes tricky distinction. They analyze the files to accurately determine the correct course of action, advising us to the facts of the case and evidence supporting the recommendations for discussion with the reviewing commission member. Once action is authorized, they promptly draft the pleadings for review, organize exhibit packets, and prepare the case for filing. This staff member is an indispensable part of the legal unit for their contribution and dedication to the Commission on Public Health. The winner of the Outstanding Performance Award for the legal category is Ryan Furbush. Ryan just got married, so.
this home, just saying.
Investigative category, always willing to help. Their work on particularly difficult cases is thorough and expedient. The first investigator to record audio interviews using Teams, they created valuable evidence and removed any reasonable scrutiny about what was said. Their input is always well received and they are intentionally inclusive with their words and actions. Always willing to help out a team member, whether it's helping with a task or providing education, and is careful with their guidance to ensure understanding. This staff member has been a crucial part of the success of our two newest investigators, and they are several topics on which they are the subject matter expert. This staff member is well organized, takes great notes, and is able to retrieve and rely on past experience with ease and accuracy. In 2022, they closed over 100 cases, and the most of any investigator. Their investigations are of the highest quality, thorough, easy to follow, and well-written. They have also completed the most Priority A and Priority B investigations in 2022 and navigate their interactions with others with careful and considerate professionalism. Diverse in their thinking, they understand the importance of respectful communication. Even if they disagree with direction given, they do so respectfully, and when a decision is made, they support it by putting in full effort and ensuring the highest quality end product. The winner of the Outstanding Performance Award in the Investigations category is Mike Pachoda.
All right, thank you, Mr. W. I think congratulations, and maybe just one more round of applause to all the winners. Congratulations to the winners today, but really extended congratulations to the rest of the staff as well. Just the work that all of you do is so outstanding. It's hard to differentiate who the best staff members are. So again, we show appreciation for you. Next item on the agenda is old business. First, committee and work group reports. Are there any reports from the committees or work groups? We will have a high reliability organization meeting later today, this afternoon. If you're interested in participating, even if you're not a committee member, please feel free to join us there. Next item is nominating. Ms. Boyd, do we have to announce the committee members today?
Yes, since you have a quorum, you can.
What's that?
Since you have a quorum, you can do that.
Okay. All right, well, I think I must have missed a memo because I think I'm supposed to actually announce the nominating committee members. So.
Can you take nominations from the floor for the committee? Sure. If anyone wants to be on it.
But there's some restrictions to that, right?
So no one from the executive committee, because they're all eligible to serve another year. And then we're supposed to have the previous chair, but that's Mr. Mullen, and he can't be on the committee, so.
And how many members do we need to have?
Three.
3 members. All right, well, I think this is probably the way I would have done it anyway, so. I'll be happy to take nominations from the floor. And you can self-nominate.
Can you clarify what we're nominating for?
So the nominating committee looks at the succession for leadership for the chair and chair-elect position.
And then could you also clarify I'm assuming that most of the nomination committee meetings are held not in person. Right, they're gonna be either here or virtual.
Most committee, I would say most committee meetings are virtual or versus language.
I'm probably going to incur wrath, but since he's not here, I would nominate Dr. Lawrence.
Did he happy to take nomination of the Dr. Lawrence? Anyone else?
I'd be happy to serve.
Dr. Jager? We have it, one more.
Ed? Mr. Lopez, would you be willing?
Thank you, Owen.
Take that as a self-nomination. Yeah, the proposed candidates for nominating committee, Dr. Jager, Mr. Lopez, and Dr. Wong's abstention. We have a motion to accept membership.
Second.
Any discussions or further nominations? All in favor of that, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? None opposed? Thank you, the motion carries, and the nominating committee has been assigned, and we'll get in touch with Dr. Wong to make sure he's willing to serve. For my past communications with him, I think he would be happy to serve. Next item on the agenda is rulemaking activities. Ms. Boyd, do you have any additional updates?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Next item is policy committee. Policy committee did not have a quorum yesterday, so what will be discussed today, we'll need to have a separate motion and approval by this body as being reported by Ms. Blake, Chair. Ms. Blake.
Good morning. Unfortunately, I was not able to be here to chair the committee yesterday, so I'm going to turn it over to Mike to give us a report on the committee.
Good morning, everyone. As Sean said, we only had 2 members last night, so we had a discussion, and I'm going to pass on the results of that discussion to you. The first item is the interpretive statement on opioid prescribing monitoring for alcoholic physicians and physician assistants. I emailed to you shortly before 8 o'clock some revisions. So you can look at the packet and look at this document, or you can look at my email. The revisions from last night were fairly minor, nothing substantive. And I won't go over them unless you want me to. I want to say that this is a normal 4-year review. The commission adopted rules back in 2010 or 2011, and then revised them substantially in 2018 at the direction of the legislature, and then issued this interpretive statement to tell physicians what the commission's philosophy on treating chronic pain, actually using opioids for any type of pain. And then it was revised twice. If you look in either the packet or the document I sent you on the second page, it's really just an update. You can see there are a few revisions to the language, and then that second paragraph lists what happened in 2020 and 2022. So if anybody has some recommendations that this needs to be further updated, please let me know. Or if you have any issues with it. The next step would be for either rewrite, you want me to rewrite it, or to pass it on to the secretary for review. All interpretive statements and policy statements have to go to the secretary for review.
Thank you. Mr. Farrell, what's the timing? Is there
The timing of
getting this approved and passed on?
Well, it goes to the secretary's office. They have a certain amount of time. I can't remember the exact time, but this would hopefully come back to you at the next meeting, but possibly the meeting after that for final approval with comments from the secretary. Sometimes, however, they have no comments. And so they just file it, it doesn't come back to you.
Thank you. So for the commission, excuse me, we could entertain a motion for approval as written and presented. Or if you feel that any substantive changes need to be made, you can make your own motions to make those changes, or potentially table this for the next meeting, which I would not recommend doing it. But all those are on the table.
I just have a quick question. To show you my sitting next to me. So there's just a funny little use of the 3 dots in a row at the end of this paragraph, and the beginning of the next paragraph. It's on page 4 when I open up the document. And I just didn't know what the purpose of that was.
Okay,
So.
you're an English major, right?
I know the purpose of that is normally, I've never seen it in a policy.
Okay, that's a direct quote from the intent statement at the beginning of the rule. So it's a direct quote. It's meant to indicate that there's a material at the end of that paragraph that's taken out and at the beginning of the next one. So if you have a suggestion on how to better use it, let's see some volunteers.
No, I mean, I wasn't familiar with that use of those, but that doesn't mean that that's not good.
We want to be clear, right?
Yeah, I guess the other. Right, like, does it, I appreciate what you're trying to indicate, but if somebody didn't catch that, is it really a substantial, like, impact on their interpretation of the statement?
One thing I can do is just put all language in.
Yeah.
That would be better.
It would be clearer.
Okay.
And I think Ed had a question about a word.
Yeah, Mr. Farrell, under the background section there in the red, was it a typo there, residential habilitation centers?
I think that's supposed to be rehabilitation centers. And also, if you're looking at the packet, we deleted in the very last line, right before residential rehabilitation centers, the term from the rules that we took out, because that was a mistake. Redundant, unnecessary. Okay. I will check on whether that's really a rehabilitation center or a rehabilitation center. Probably rehabilitation center.
All right, thank you, Mr. Farrell.
So, Dr. Trump, do we need a motion to make those modifications and then accept the document?
I think those are more editorial than
Yeah.
substantive, so I think we can take those as just minor edits.
I'm happy to move to accept the document.
Moved by Dr. Jacob, who is the second. Any further discussion on this document? Thank you. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed, the motion carries. Mr. Farrell, do you have another item?
Yes, the next one is the interpretive statement for patients. Again, this is just a 4-year review. And this is almost the same, very similar document, but it's intended to the audience of patients rather than MDs and PAs. The additions were very similar to the one before. You see the paragraph near the top of the second page, updating the developments in 2020 and 2022. With that paragraph, I will look at those two, take out the term from the rules and look at residential rehabilitation centers as well.
Thank you. We have a motion to accept this statement.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed? None opposed, the motion carries. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Farrell. And I appreciate the commission's attention to this. Normally, this would have been done in policy and then brought forward to this body. Since we didn't have policy yesterday, we'll treat that as policy committee this time discussion. Thank you.
There are three more.
Oh, you have three more? That's what you said.
You're probably looking at my email that had revisions to two of them, but there were three others with no revisions. Should have made that clear. So the third item we talked about last night was a four-year review of the guideline on treating partners of patients with sexually transmitted chlamydia and gonorrhea. One thing I'm going to do is change the title of this from guidelines to guidance document, because the commission thought that that was a better title for our guidelines. But other than that, we recommend no changes. I should say, I didn't see any reason to make any changes to this. And we discussed it last night, and the two people who attended didn't see any reason either, but I welcome any feedback on this.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Mr. Farrell?
The next document is an interpretive statement on physician assistant's use of DEA waiver for buprenorphine. This document was adopted back in 2018, and you reaffirmed it just last year. So it's not a four-year review, but it's a request to rescind the document because the feds have removed the X waiver. And so this is moot. So we don't have to worry about whether PAs can use the X waiver without the supervising physician having an X waiver, because there's no X waiver. And the FDA document letter is following the interpretive statement packet.
So we need a motion to.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Beat you to it. Any discussion on the motion to rescind? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed, the motion carries. Thank you.
I think I said FDA, because obviously the DEA. Final document is a new document. It's a proposed interpretive statement on whether use of nitrous oxide in a physician's office comes within the office-based surgery rule. There was a push by some people for us to declare nitrous oxide as minimal sedation and therefore exempt from the requirements of the rule. So this is an interpretive statement for your consideration, not asking you to approve this, but to mull it over and discuss, and then I can bring it back maybe at the next meeting. Because this is brand new, it's not an existing document, so it's the first time you're seeing it. So I welcome any feedback. If you want to know any background on this, Mike Matthews can provide some background.
Mr. Matthews?
Sure. So the office-based surgery rule, when I had a conversation here, they came around in 2008.
Around it.
Yeah, okay. And it was a fairly big production, as I understand it, involving a lot of small dogs and hearing from estheticians. And so we like to not open up the rules to clarify this. There's language in the rule that talks about intranasal, and Dr. Dalmano gave a very good explanation from last night at the policy committee about what the intent was there. When we did the rules, there was a previous anesthesiologist on the call in to give an opinion about what the nitrous was considered with respect to its sedation level. And we because the person's no longer here, we did ask every comment for her opinion. And it's the same. Its nitrous is not sufficient, it's moderate at best, it's chlorine. And so there is a guideline that the osteopathic board has that clarifies that nitrous is within the OES rules. But we also have the board of naturopathy who's considering this issue as well. So this is part of an overall effort to, one, align ourselves with the osteopathic board, clarify our rules, but also send just in the letter to the board of naturopathy from yourselves, just outlining when we use nitrous, it's under the guidance of these rules and the items must be in place for patient safety reasons. So for today, it is a discussion piece. There is going to be a meeting with Dr. Domino, some physicians that are part of WISMA to talk about more of what they're wanting to do. You heard some of their comments last night about wanting to get more clarity about where this could go. And so we want to meet with the stakeholders to make sure we're aligned before we bring it back to you.
Thank you. Just for clarity, this is, will this also go back to policy next time? Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right, I'll just briefly open up the floor to see if there's any questions, comments regarding this topic. Thank you. So please take the time to review this. We did discuss it in executive committee briefly. And so please bring back any additional comments or questions you may have as to the next, or to Mr. Farrell or to the policy committee member. Are we done? Yeah, thank you. All right, now I just got to get back to the agenda. Right, next item on the agenda, member reports. This is an opportunity for commission members to make any comments, share any items that you'd like to share with the commission and the public. Mr. Rogers.
I just want to say that on the morning that we issue the awards, just a brief statement about the staff, the incredible staff of the Washington Commission. Every single one of them, from the moment I began working as a commissioner, I realized that this was something special. The quality of work that you put out and the volume that you're able to sustain putting out incredibly quality work is really impressive. And I say that as somebody who, I'm middle-aged. I've worked since I was 14 years old, 2 Fortune 50 pharma companies. I've worked in large health insurance companies, all the way down to small hospitals, a small consulting firm, and now a small law office. And I have never seen the quality, the integrity, and professionalism and truly exceptional ability. I say that sincerely, and anywhere that I've ever been. And it's not unexpected when you look at how uniquely qualified each and every one of you is for your positions. We don't just have an investigator. We have investigators who have spent entire careers as nurses, as PAs, investigators who have law enforcement background, so uniquely qualified to do what you do. The staff attorneys are highly knowledgeable, scholarly. We've had, don't take my word for it either. This isn't the commission doting on itself. Our Mike Farrell has publications that he's been recognized for. Jenny Bush, who I think she's, I don't want to steal any thunder, you'll hear more about Jenny Bush here in the staff reports, but I think she's some part of when every award there is available the United States and abroad. Melanie has been cited in FSMD Journal as, for some of the pioneering efforts that all of you have put in. And I have to say, it's also recognized. Last year I was in San Francisco, I believe it was San Francisco, airport and a long layover in a lounge and just happened to talk to somebody. Turns out they were a medical commission on a board on the East Coast, and they said they had just had a review of internally how can they better do what they do. And one thing that people kept saying was, how do we, maybe we can learn from Washington. How can we do what they do? So I'm not just self-doting on the commission. I just want to recognize it and let you know I am truly, and every time I get a package, truly impressed. And I want to thank Melanie too. I mean, this putting together a team like this doesn't happen by accident. And you each and every one of you is truly, we recognize that you are exceptional. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. I feel like you're holding back on how you really feel. To that, I think I would also add that what's really appreciated is the fact that I think each and every one of you have demonstrated not just your expertise and your skills, but your passion for what you're doing. And you're not here just to make a dollar. You're here because you believe in something, and I think that really makes a big difference. So thank you for that. I'm going to clown that. Mr. Rogers said. Anyone else? Thank you very much. Staff report.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Rogers. We're going to toot our horn just a bit more today. So this is the tooting horn day for the staff. I have some, well, the awards that you talked about, I did list some in the staff reports. Marissa Courtney is going to be awarded the Award of Merit by FSMB for her work in licensure. So that will be great. She will be going to the annual meeting in Minneapolis to receive that award. Jimmy Bush will be representing the Washington State Medical Commission at the International Congress in Dublin, Ireland for CLEAR. She will be on the panel discussing what we have done for our DEI initiatives. And she will also be going through and moderating some of the sessions for the research day. So we have done a lot, to be honest with you. We have done more in DEI initiatives as a state medical board in the world. And so we will be kind of tooting our horn at that Congress. I just learned yesterday that Mike Farrell will be on a panel with Dr. Bundy at the annual meeting for FSB regarding working with WPHP. So, and Dr. Bundy also toots our horn a bit as well. So I have people everywhere tooting our horn. I think that's really great. The other thing I want to do is, while we have these awards, we also have some longevity certificates that I wanted to hand out today. So for appreciation of 5 years of outstanding service, I have a recognition award for Emma Marienthal. She works in our licensing unit. I will be giving these out afterwards. For 20 years of service, I have an award for Renee Bruce. She is one of our investigators who works out of the Spokane office. In recognition of 10 years of wonderful service, I have an award for Amelia Boyd. She is our wonderful program manager. Mr. Mike Kramer has been with the commission for 30 years, or for the state, and I think it's all been with the commission. So I will be giving this to him today as well. He is one of our compliance officers. And Christine Babb, one of our investigators, has been with the commission for 5 years, and I have an award for her. So thank you very much.
To continue the horn section. In my report, I just want to highlight Jimmy Bush did the Distinguished Scholarship Award from the Journal of Medical Regulation for her article on recidivism. I've linked the article in the staff report to read it. And since she's going to be in Dublin at the International Conference for CLEAR, she's going to be, we got Sarah Shepard, who is the performance manager, who will hold the data for that article, and she will be one of the second place. Other than my staff report, I have a lot to share. I do want to share that I did just get an email. The mask requirements in healthcare and long-term care and correctional facilities will end at midnight April 2nd. So all the maximum departments are going to pay for the secretaries for. You can still voluntarily do that, but I just want to make sure public forum.
Thank you. Any other staff reports? Okay, seeing none, the next item is the AAG report. Heather? All right, thank you. Any other items that from the staff or commission? Mr. Blind?
Good morning, everyone. I want to introduce our newest staff attorney.
How about now?
Good morning. I wanted to introduce our new staff attorney. And she'll introduce herself.
Hey, hello, I'm Leslie. I am originally an attorney from Alaska with a 20-year background in criminal practice and emergency defense. So I attended doctors, professionals, accountants, and we had a gamut. I came down here by way of Bend. I took the brief, I called it retirement, sabbatical, COVID break, what have you. And now I'm rejoining the legal community here, working on the other side.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. This adjourns our business meeting. Thank you all. And we have, I guess, a few minutes before our first personal appearances. Please, I guess, starting on both panels. Okay, right. So we'll see you then. Thank you all.
We're going to have some cake before 9 a.m.
Oh, that's fine. We have some cake.